you are welcome to the part 3 of this talk on
No Grey Areas with
Sazzy. All right, so this is part 3 of the talk we'll be talking about regarding abusive relationship, abuse in marriage, in relationships. So please stay hooked up and let's continue on this ride. I guarantee you that it's not going to be a dull moment right here. Thank you so much, and let's. The question that came in, so one of the people that sent the question said, "Is divorce the final solution? Final point. This is the place where I call it off. Is divorce the best answer or the final solution to an abusive relationship?" Because, Pastor, there's a point people get to, they feel like they are drowning. I have actually had a communication with people, and it's like they're losing their minds. Literally, they're losing their minds. So some of them tell you, "I can't have this anymore. I'm going to end this marriage. I think this is the best thing for me to do." But because of society, especially in this part of the world where we are, a lot of people look at divorcees, with this, in a certain way. Oh, look at, especially the women, especially women. Yeah. And you see them calling them, they start calling them all sorts of irrelevant, unnecessary names, hurtful, start saying a lot of hurtful and hateful things against these women. So this question is coming here for us to at least talk about it. Is divorce the best solution or final solution to an abusive marriage?
All right, so thank you very much. This is a very important question. Divorce is a very sensitive topic because we know that biblically speaking, the Bible says God hates divorce. And so that's why you see in the faith circles, we don't encourage divorce. Because, if God hates it, then we should stay away from it as much as we can. Now, but here's the thing. I don't like the reason. One other reason why I think divorce is not the solution, but I'll get to that. Don't draw conclusions yet until I finish. Let me finish.
Waiting.
Divorce is not the solution because of the finality of divorce. Divorce is so final, like death. For marriage, divorce is the death of the marriage. It's the end. So
true.
It's because of the finality. I don't think that it's like somebody taking their lives. Suicide. You may get immediate relief, but what about life after death? So you may be running away from something and getting into something worse. So before you go into divorce, you must be sure that certain things you've done all you can. I think I would recommend separation instead of divorce. So if your life is at risk, you feel in danger, a separation will work. The reason is, what if the person is just dealing with a mental health challenge? That means the person is sick, basically, and can be treated.
Yes.
So divorce is not, your partner cannot be sick, and then because of sickness, you say, "I'm divorcing." That's mean. So you need to now seek help. Now, if help can be provided, the marriage can continue.
True.
If help can be provided, the marriage can continue. So before you go to divorce, why not try separation? Stay apart and work through this, and then convince yourself that you've done all you can. Because don't forget that in a divorce in a marriage, that ends up in divorce, and don't selfishly think that you are the only person that is involved. You are the person, "I need to save my life." Think about how it will affect the children. Think about a lot of other factors before you come to that conclusion. A lot of people go into divorce for selfish reasons. So at the slightest provocation, they want to walk away. Most likely, they've made up their mind to leave and they're just looking for an excuse.
Yes.
So at the slightest excuse, they catch in and they walk away. But I think separation, I would recommend a separation. What do you want to achieve by a divorce? To stay away so that you are not in danger. Separation takes care of that. Go away for a while and try to walk through this process. And in most cases, by prayers, by professional intervention, and maybe possible treatment, most people win this battle of most abusers will win this battle.
Yes.
If they are willing to cooperate, most of them win this battle. First, they take responsibility. They cannot be in denial. They cannot keep blaming somebody else for their actions. They must come to the point where they say, I'm wrong and I need help. And at that point, you know that the person is making progress. And then, because the person is saying, I'm wrong, I need help, doesn't mean you should stay. Yeah. It means you can say, okay, let's get you help. And while you are seeking help, I will just take some time out. Take some time, be with my family or be with my friends, and then I'll be coming around. I'll be there when you need me. I'll help you through this process, but I don't feel safe. So let me be away for a while, or let me get someone come in to stay with us. Let me get someone coming to be with us at home, a relative that will stay with me, so that there's always somebody to intervene, somebody to help out within this process. So I think you must not quickly jump into a divorce. Most people say, okay, in cases of infidelity, yes, divorce is allowed. And I worry about that, because if it's the woman who cheats, it's easy to divorce. When the man cheats, there's no need for divorce. Exactly. So I think there should be room for forgiveness. There's nothing anybody has done, as long as your life is not at risk, that cannot be forgiven. And then you can start again, seek help. I always talk about seeking help. Walk through it, and you can start again and walk through these processes. Because for every time, we know how to judge people who sin differently from us. That
true, that's so
because
true.
You don't steal,
yes.
You can judge people who steal.
Yes.
But there are other things you do that they don't do. Exactly. There are other things you do that they don't do. So if you expect people to forgive you, you should be willing to forgive others also, as long as your life is not at risk. And I emphasize that.
Yes.
But if your life is at risk, separate. Stay away for the time being, and while you are seeking help and interventions. And when you are satisfied that you are safe, you feel safe to return, then you can come back into that home. But divorce is too final for you to tag it as the solution to anything. Yes. It's not the solution to anything, but it's basically, at the end of the day, it's your choice to make. Yes. I can't tell you what to do. It's your decision to make. But my advice will be, before you get to the point of divorce, make sure you've tried some other thing. Don't use divorce as an excuse. Yes. So some people, a man is in love with another woman, and then the wife cheats. Good excuse. Oh. And then he says, oh, because she cheated, I'm leaving. And then a few months down the road, he marries that person.
He's looking out for somebody else.
Exactly. And some other people say, oh, because the woman doesn't have a child, it's time to find another woman. All of those things are flimsy excuses, and basically why God hates divorce. Yes. So if husbands and wives realize that my job as a husband is to make my wife better, do everything to make her happy and better in life, and she knows that her job as a wife is to make me better and happy in life, so I'll be doing my best to make sure she's happy, and she's doing her best to make sure I'm happy. Yes. And that's how you build a happy home. But when people are self-centered and you're looking to your own well-being alone, it will lead to a breakdown in the relationship. That's some of the things that will put pressure. But please, let divorce not be your first point of call. If you must divorce, your reason must be it must be as a result of threats to life. Your life is in danger, and divorce is not the first solution. It's like saying that because the area is not secure, I pull down my house. That's so not what you do.
Other options.
You can explore other options, other safety mechanisms, other coping mechanisms, other somebody coming in to live with you. Or in some cases, it's not even you that has to move out. Yes. The abusive partner can move out. Yes. Go seek help. And when it's okay, he comes back home. When you're convinced, he comes back home. So that you don't, in the process of running away from one abusive relationship, most people land in a worse situation. True. Some people go to stay with friends who now begin to sexually abuse them. From physical abuse, they get into sexual abuse. Yes. Some of them emotional abuse, trauma. Some of them go back to their family houses, and it becomes traumatic because every day they remind them that they left their husband's house. True. And it becomes another form of pressure. So you must look at what is best for you, and don't rush into conclusions.
Okay.
Alright.
So, Pastor, there is this just to talk about further buttress on the divorce part of it. I've heard before that once a divorcee, always a divorcee. Just like the line that we used before, like once an abuser, always an abuser, because people feel like you keep going through that crazy circle. You'll be going around that crazy circle if you don't have that capacity to endure, you know, these things that comes your way. But it's, for me, it's not always the case. It's honestly not always the case. Then there's another one I also want to mention regarding in-laws. Regarding in-laws, a friend of mine called me up and explained a very painful scenario to me. And what she told me was a friend of hers had these fights, money fights basically, with the husband, asking the husband for where do we get money for food, and I think everything was not, a lot of things was not actually available at home, and they needed to refill up. And the man and the woman got into this altercation. The lady's mother was at home, and then when the man got to the point of hitting her, beating her, the mother intervened, and before you knew it, the mother slapped the husband. First of all, slapped her son-in-law, and then the son-in-law retaliated, slapped the mother-in-law, and it was a big blow up. And then what in situations like this, what's the role of in-laws in an abusive marriage? What can in-laws do in an abusive marriage?
Okay, so here's the thing. I would be biased if you bring me in to mediate in my daughter's marriage. The reason I will not be consciously biased, but I will be biased.
Yes.
The reason I say this is that I know my daughter. So already I will assume that what this man is saying is not correct. Because my daughter can't do that. I'm already biased.
Because everybody's child is perfect.
Everybody's child is perfect. So here's the thing. That's why the people to go to when there are challenges shouldn't be in-laws. People must learn to go to professionals. There are marriage counselors, professional marriage counselors. There are professional psychiatrists.
True.
There are psychologists. There are people who are trained to give support.
Family clinicians.
Clinicians.
Yes.
There are people you can talk to. So don't quickly rush. And then there are pastors who are experienced.
True.
Don't go to family members because they may end up making it worse. I don't think, if the mother, she got emotional and slapped her son-in-law because she couldn't stand seeing her daughter being abused.
Yes.
And that's what will happen when you take your issues to family to resolve. Most times families don't do a good job because they already have a position in their minds, knowingly or unknowingly.
True.
Some of them will even put too much blame on their own person.
Yes.
Because they don't want the other person to feel bad.
True.
So it's not, there's always going to be this bias. There will be that overkill. So go to a professional when you need to talk to people. And in that, because it gets messy when family is involved, resolutions become difficult.
True.
If husband and wife agree to settle, they need to now go back and begin to appeal to the woman that was slapped, and then the other, and all of that, and all of that. It becomes a little bit too messy.
Yeah.
So in-laws, for the in-laws, I must encourage in-laws, please don't be mediators. You already belong to a side.
So there'll be a clear bias.
There will be a clear bias,
yes.
or there will be an assumed bias.
Yes.
Because already the man knows that. Why will you not support your daughter?
True.
Or the woman say, why will you not support your son? Even when you are right, they feel you are taking it. So you can always advise them to seek professional help, to seek expert opinion when they have issues, and don't come in to be, don't quickly jump in to be the mediators. Try to help them see so that they can get a neutral position.
Yes.
And it's not just what you do, but what you are perceived to be doing.
Yes.
So if they think that you are biased, even when you are not, it's already a problem in that case. So please, as much as possible, I want to ask in-laws not to interfere, not to be overbearing.
True.
I know a lot of marriages, the challenges they deal with are caused by third parties, in-laws. Father-in-law, mother-in-law, they're overbearing. They want to know what's happening at your home, this your husband, what did he say, why did he say that, how could he, why are you putting on these clothes, why are you not, they want to be overbearing, and then they put pressure on marriages, especially young marriages, to the point where they break before they even grow.
Yes.
So in-laws need to be more sensitive and allow people to make their mistakes and allow them to grow together and become perfect in their relationship. So that's what I would advise in-laws to do.
Yeah.
All right.
So in what we're trying to just to add to it, because one thing I've always known is we on both sides, you know, before people get married, it's very important for us to know who our counselors are.
Fantastic. Yes.
The role of, you know, counselors, because these frictions will come.
Yes.
They will happen, because growing up with your siblings till date, you still have these altercations here and there. How much more somebody that's, you know, you know, so it means that the role of counselors in marriage or marriages is it cannot be overemphasized, but it should not be the in-laws doing the, or maybe friends or friends of the couple.
Not exactly. But you see, what I advised the couple recently, I said, don't wait for trouble before you talk to your counselors. The counselors should not be talked to only when there's trouble. There should be once in a while where you just sit with them and discuss. Talk with them. It could be a routine exercise. So you have families that you agree to mentor you. You look at other marriages you want to model after. A good marriage you want to model after. And then you ask them, can you be our mentors in marriage? And they accept. And then you just talk with them once a month. You visit and you have a conversation with them. You will learn a thing or two that will help prevent problems, instead of waiting until there's problem and you try to solve those problems. Very correct. If people learn to do this, you will find out that you will grow, you will build a stronger home.
Yes.
Because those people, your counselors, will help you improve communication.
True.
Because when you are talking to your counselors, you find out that you end up talking to yourself. And then you can have that patience. You know, when a man knows that, okay, I'm telling you, you are not listening to it, he leaves it, say no problem. When we go to our counselors, I'll bring it up.
Exactly.
So you see that there's an alternative. It doesn't feel like I'm helpless, I must fight, and we must bring down this house to come to a conclusion.
Yes.
We say, okay, let's leave it. When we visit our counselors, we'll ask them, and they will tell us their opinion on this matter. Since you are bent on this, I'm bent on that, let's leave it. So because there's some other solution, there's a form of appeal court. You don't the first judgment is not the end, so you don't go killing everybody. You know that, no problem. I think it's next week when we go there, we will take it up. Let's just leave it for now. So it gives you an alternative form of conflict resolution. You go there, discuss it with them. They are neutral. They tell you their own experience and their own observation. And something you would have thought about, you see both of you laughing. Say, I think I told you. They don't say, because you were right. Now you want to rub it in. You laugh about it, and then you come back and implement it, because you are proactive. And not reactive in that relationship.
And you see, there are some people in marriages that will say, my husband doesn't want us to get a third party involved, and before you know it, they can't really speak to anybody. So in situations like this, what can this lady or the man do when they agree? We don't want a third party in our marriage. Don't want any counsel. We can handle it. We can handle our problem. What's in this, and people are dying in silence. What can they really do?
So it's a good thing to assume that you can handle these things. But it's just like having the phone number of your doctor. You are not planning to fall ill. You know that I will be fine. I will never fall ill. But let the phone number be there. Nobody is harmed. If you never use it, nobody gets.
You never know.
If you never have to use the doctor's number, then fine. But it's in your phone. So if you have a counselor and a mentor, and you never need them to intervene for you, fantastic. Nobody is losing anything.
It's a win-win situation.
It's a win-win. But to know that there's somebody to talk to, it's also good for your mental health. So that when you need to talk, you know that you are not alone. You are not in this confined space where you are boxed in, and it's like either you talk or die. If you can't talk, then you kill yourself. There must be, and so please, husbands, don't tell your wives not to talk to anybody about the issues. It's too much pressure on them. There has to be one person in this world that they should be able to talk to. There has to be one person.
And talking is therapeutic.
It's therapeutic.
Yes.
There has to be one person. So don't say, no, don't ever take anything happening. So here's the thing. Most of the time, because you never agree on who to talk to, you end up talking to the wrong people.
True.
Because at the spur of the moment, you go and call a friend who now tells the whole world about what is happening in your home.
True.
But if you proactively sit down and say, okay, who do we want to talk to? Even when there's no problem, we want to talk to them, learn from them. We want to be able to, and then when there are problems, who do we talk to and then we don't feel insecure? The husband and the wife should agree. Mr. A and his wife, these are the people we can talk to. We can trust them to be confidential about our issues, and we can trust their experience and their integrity. And then they agree on that. So the woman knows who to call, the man knows who to call. And when that call is made, nobody is offended because you agreed that these are the people we talk to. So that's important.
All right. So I'm sure we have learned a lot. But Pastor, I will go for the last one, just the last question. It says, is there any legislation or are there laws that are already enacted against, abuse? Yeah. So is there something the society what's the role of the society or the government, in the aspect of physical abuse or
okay,
abuse?
So there are laws already, but the implementation of the law is a different thing. Good. Most of the time at the police station they have a different set of laws. When you go to court, they have different sets of laws.
Exactly.
You can go to the police station to report violence in the home, and they will tell you that it's a domestic matter. They don't interfere until a crime is committed.
Exactly.
So until it's criminal. But that's wrong. That's not the true spirit of the law. The law is such that we don't only come in when there's a murder. We come in, the law must also be able to prevent the act of murder.
Exactly.
Any law that doesn't prevent crime is not good enough. It's not effective. It should not only punish a criminal, but be good enough to prevent crime, to deter crime. That's the purpose of the law. So I think, I know there are laws, but without the confines of the home, we all know that assault is against the law. Any form of threat to life, any form of physical abuse, harm, is already covered in our laws. But I think this program should encourage more robust legislation. It should encourage, what you are doing is fantastic. I hope and believe that some people are listening who can initiate the process of improving the laws we have so that it's robust enough to accommodate the emerging issues in the fields of abuse. Because the things we used to accept as abuse those days, now the definitions have been broadened. We now understand better that there's sexual abuse even in marriage.
True.
So we need to look at improving these laws. And anybody out there who is listening, you can initiate the process of lawmaking. You can initiate the process of developing bills or calling on lawmakers to look at it again. And I know they're working on some of the sexual abuse bills and all of that. And we must also look at the bill for domestic violence.
Yes.
We must have laws that will make people safe in the spaces where they're supposed to be safe in, like schools, like in the home, like in the rights of the children in an abusive home. We need to take this into consideration.
Yes.
So a man who abuses the wife should not only think about settling with the wife. He needs to be held liable for any harm that must have come to the children emotionally or traumatically. He needs to be held liable also for that. We need laws that will be robust enough. And then the society needs to be deliberate. The state has to be deliberate in providing centers where people suffering domestic sexual, physical abuse can run to
seek help. Yes.
There needs to be a police department specialized, trained to handle physical abuse in the home. People who are experts. So some police officers should be taken out and trained
yes,
to handle these issues.
True.
So that when they call them to intervene, they know what to do. They know how to keep people safe. They know how to remove the person who is at risk, or remove the person who is the abuser from the scenario.
Yes.
They take the person away and they say, you can't come this way for now until this matter is handled. So they know what to do.
Restraining order or
exactly.
something.
Yes. So the police should know what to do and how to advise people about their rights. Yes. And then another group of people who we need to call on to step in.
Yes.
People who know and understand the law that can help people know their rights.
True.
So some of you out there listening to this program, this can be your takeaway. You can use your platforms to amplify the voices of those who are suffering abuse and help them know their rights and help others know their rights. In a marriage, what are you supposed to take? You can take some of these things we've talked about and put them up on your platform and help people understand that you have the right to a safe and happy life.
Yes.
And anybody who deprives you of that needs to be held liable.
True.
You don't have to take it. They need to be held liable. So you can use your voice to amplify what the laws and the rights of these people, and then you can also initiate the process of lawmaking to improve the laws we already have, to ensure that they capture the areas that are emerging.
Well, thank you so much, Pastor. Thank you so much. This has been a wonderful time having you come on this show, and I'm sure that we're going to have you on this show again.
Oh, I'll be glad to be here.
We still have some more series to talk about. Yeah. Thank you so much. And to every one of you, thank you so much for listening to this. Remember, we always talk about these things. There are certain things in life that are categorized as rubber balls, and there are certain things in life that are categorized as glass balls. A family is a glass ball. Your marriage is a glass ball. The moment it shatters, it might be very difficult for you to fix it. Let's learn how to be patient some more. Let's learn how to take responsibilities. Regardless of the situation in the home, regardless of what is going on, seek help. Speak up. Don't stay there and die in silence. Please, suicide is not the answer to it. Suicide is not the answer to it. And of course, it's very important that you talk to people to help you. With the issues you're going through in your marriage or relationship might just be a call away. And before you know it, it is resolved. So please, thank you so much for listening to this, and see you next time on our next episode of No Gray Areas with Sazzy. Thank you so much. Share this, like the videos. We love you. Bye.
God bless you.
God bless you.